Hey guys, welcome to Aaron's Automotive. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to solder wires using what's called the Western Union splice, or the linesman splice. So, what you're going to do, you're going to take your wire and wire cutters, or strippers, I don't know where I put them, right here. I always like to strip about an inch of insulation off of my wires. So, this is on for the signal light for my 82 Chevy. Need to replace the wiring on it, as this got shorted out on the old one. So you take your wire and your shrink tube, which is right here. You slide your shrink tube over your wire, and I never twist these wires together when I solder. Then you take your wire that you want to solder to. In this case, this is blue, so this is the signal light wire. You cross them together, make an X right about the middle, and you twist together. Once you have that twisted, it'll look like that. And that is a solid connection that will never come undone. I could pull on this all day long and it'll break the wire before the twisting lets go. Then you take your soldering iron. Mine's a Weller 140 dual watts. You take your solder and basically heat the bottom of the wire. You always heat the bottom of your wire, and you feed the solder from the top, and that'll suck up the solder. Also, if you're doing this in a garage, you want to make sure it's well ventilated, as this solder isn't something you want to inhale. There. Then you want to let that connection cool down. I'm going to grab my heat gun and my torch. Now, because this is on, that's cool enough. Because this is going on for a signal light where water's prone, I'm actually going to take some dielectric grease and I'm going to put it onto the wire before I slide the heat shrink over it. Take a little bit of that, and I just like to smear that around the connector. Need a little more. And this will create a watertight seal, so you won't get any corrosion in there. And then you slide your heat shrink over your joint. And when I do soldering with wires on external, I always cut my heat shrink tubing way bigger than I need, just to give extra security there. And then you take a little torch or a heat gun and supply heat to the shrink tube, constantly moving the torch around. You don't want to burn through the tube. And as it shrinks, it'll push some of that dielectric grease through. That little squeeze through right there. And then you go on to your next wire and apply heat. And that is how you create a really solid, watertight, soldered connection that will never come apart and should never end up with corrosion in these wires. So I'm going to turn on the lights. Verify that they are working. As you can see, the park light and the signal light are both flashing. I'll set you guys up on the hood and show you on a scrap piece of wire. Alright, so to show you what I was doing, taking the two wires, cross them over, so you make an X, and you twist them real nice and tight together. And that's what it should look like. No, it didn't twist that hard enough on this one. Let's get these ends off. Strip back some insulation. Twist them together. Those are together and not coming apart. And then take your, I don't know how I'm going to set this up. Let's try hanging this thing, I guess. That's not going to work. Huh. Well, we'll try this way. Take the soldering gun. And see if you guys can see this on the hood here or not. Okay, you can. Good, I'm just going to do it like this then. I really wish I had my soldering helper. Just there's a stand with a couple alligator clips, but get that hot. Sorry, my hand's probably in the way. But with that soldered, you can see it's soldered all the way in there. And I forgot to put the heat shrink on first, so I'm just going to snip it here and do that. Have a little bit of the shrink tubing, cut it. I'll put that on after I do the dielectric. So then I take a little bit of electric grease, right onto the connection or onto the soldered joint. Spread it around with my finger. Take the heat shrink tubing, slide it up over the joint, and apply heat. And that is a soldered connection. That's never coming apart. So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.